You spend your entire life chasing happiness, like a dog chasing its own tail. You get tired, you get frustrated, and in the end, you just end up more miserable. If this is your reality, this video is for you. If you prefer to keep believing in unicorns and rainbows, you can leave now. Here we deal in raw truth. This video is for the exhausted, for the deluded, for those who have been fooled by the empty promise of constant, unrealistic happiness. It's for those who want to stop fooling themselves and finally understand why the frantic pursuit of happiness is, in fact, the main cause of your unhappiness. Prepare for a brutal slap in the face. It will free you from the biggest lie of your life. This isn't positive vibes talk or magical thinking nonsense. This is Stoic Punch. Put on your headphones, turn off your notifications, and get ready to unravel why what you seek as happiness is, in fact, your greatest misery. You won't like everything you hear, but you'll damn well need it. Let's be brutally honest. You've been taught to believe that happiness is a destination, a finish line, a permanent state where everything is perfect. And you pursue this relentlessly. You seek happiness in the dream job, in the stuffed bank account, in the ideal relationship, in the perfect body, in exotic vacations. And what happens? You get the dream job and discover it has its own problems. You earn more money, and you want more, or you spend it all. You find a relationship, and it has its friction. You achieve the ideal body, and discover you have to maintain it. You return from vacation, and reality hits you like a truck. With each achievement, there's a brief peak of euphoria, a flash, and right after, an emptiness, a feeling that it wasn't enough. Or worse, the anxiety of losing what you've just gained. You are on a treadmill, running nonstop, always chasing a horizon that never arrives. This is the trap of external happiness. It is inconstant. It is fleeting. It is a mirage. You've been programmed to be eternally dissatisfied because there will always be something more. A new fad, a new gadget, a new status. And your mind convinces you that only when I have that will I be happy. But the that changes. And happiness, this so-called happiness, slips through your fingers like sand. You become a slave to the next thing, an addict to external validation, and with each dose, the withdrawal gets worse. Your pursuit of happiness has become your prison. Here enters one of the most misunderstood and most brutal concepts in Stoic philosophy. Something the truly happy apply, while the rest of the world drowns in trivialities. Eudaimonia. For the Stoics, eudaimonia is what comes closest to our concept of human flourishing or the good life. But it's not about feeling pleasure. It's not about having everything. It's about living in virtue. It's about excellence of character, about doing the right thing, about acting according to reason. Seems boring, right? No parties, no shopping, no exotic trips. But think about it. When you act with courage, even with fear, don't you feel an inner strength? When you are just, even when it would be easier to cheat, don't you feel integrity? When you are disciplined and keep your promises to yourself, don't you feel a sense of control and self-respect? This is eudaimonia. It's the happiness that comes from within, from your own action, from your own character. It's the only happiness you truly control. Unlike the happiness that comes from a raise, from praise, or from a new car. These things can be taken from you, but your courage, your justice, your discipline, no one can take these from you. The Stoics understood that the incessant pursuit of pleasure and external things is a rat race. You run, run, run. You achieve. You feel a flash. And then you have to run again. It's a cycle of dependence. True freedom, true happiness, comes from not depending on anything that is outside your control. Let's really demystify this. The Stoics were not against pleasure. They were not against joy. They simply understood that pleasure and joy are byproducts. They are not the main goal. The happiness society sells you is pleasure. Instant gratification, it's tasty food, sex, drugs, praise. It's a peak, but every peak has a valley. And the higher the peak, the deeper the valley. You become an addict to peaks, eternally searching for the next dose of happiness. Eudaimonia, the Stoic good life, is different. It's like the satisfaction of an athlete after years of arduous training and discipline, culminating in a successful competition. It's not the momentary pleasure of eating a candy bar. It's the deep, lasting satisfaction that comes from significant effort, from a built character, from living according to your highest values. It's the contentment that arises from knowing you did your best, that you acted with integrity, that you mastered yourself. It's the peace of mind that comes from not depending on external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The best happiness is to be immune to what tries to disturb you. Society teaches you to seek happiness in having. The Stoics teach you to seek happiness in being courageous, being just, being wise, being temperate. This is the only happiness you can truly possess, and it's the only one that won't make you miserable when things don't go your way." Okay, so how can you, the genius listening to this and feeling miserable in your pursuit of happiness, start redefining your life and finding this unshakable satisfaction? The key is to change your focus from what is outside to what is inside. 1. Stop chasing happiness and start cultivating virtues. Instead of asking yourself, what would make me happy now? Zrina asks, what kind of person do I want to be to act with excellence? External happiness. I will be happy when I buy that car. Stoic happiness. I am happy because I work with discipline to achieve my goals, regardless of the car. Action. Choose one virtue you want to cultivate today. Be braver in a difficult conversation. More just in a decision. More disciplined in a habit. Happiness will come as a byproduct of your virtuous action. 2. Embrace amor fati in its brutal acceptance version. You've been taught to reject pain, failure, discomfort. But life is made of these things, and trying to run from them all the time leaves you exhausted and miserable. External happiness. I will only be happy if everything goes well. Stoic happiness. I will be happy because I accept what happens and use it to grow. Action. When something goes wrong today, a disappointment, a frustrated plan, don't resist. Don't play the victim. Accept the fact. Ask yourself, what is under my control here and now? How can I use this to act with virtue? 3. Disassociate your peace of mind from external results. Your peace of mind cannot depend on having $1 billion in your account, or the approval of 10 people, or on anything that is not you. External happiness. My peace depends on my promotion. Stoic happiness. My peace depends on my honesty and effort at work, regardless of the promotion. Action. Tonight, before you sleep, reflect, at what point was my mood stolen by something I don't control? And consciously decide not to give away that power tomorrow. Train your mind to be unshakable. Here are your Stoic punches to start redefining your happiness and finding an unshakable peace of mind. Exercise 1. The Unexpected Virtue Journal. Grab a notebook. At the end of each day, record the challenging event, a situation that upset you, frustrated you, or didn't go as you wanted. Your automatic reaction, how you initially felt and acted, likely in a non-Stoic way. The missing used virtue. Which Stoic virtue, courage, temperance, justice, wisdom, could have been used or was used even minimally to deal with the situation? The virtuous reaction, reworked. How could you have acted if you had focused on a virtue? The micro-contentment. What small sense of satisfaction or peace did you feel from having thought or acted virtuously, even if the external outcome wasn't ideal? This journal is not for self-blame. It's for training your mind to look for the source of satisfaction in your own actions and internal choices, not in external results. It's about finding happiness in the small victories of character. Exercise 2. The contentment test. Choose one thing you typically pursue or that would give you momentary pleasure. It could be buying something small, eating something you really like, watching something addictive. Now, intentionally, don't do it or don't buy it. Instead, dedicate that time or money to an action that reflects a virtue. Instead of buying an expensive coffee, donate the money to someone or use the time to help a friend. Instead of watching another episode of a series, use the time to read a challenging book or to meditate. The goal is to feel the initial discomfort of deprivation of pleasure, and then observe the deep and calm satisfaction that comes from a conscious, virtuous action. You are training your brain to prefer the lasting satisfaction of virtue over the fleeting pleasure of instant gratification. When you start applying this, your mind will resist. It will say, "But I'll be upset if I don't have that." Zrenia, life is too cruel not to seek pleasure. Zrenia, это разговор для людей, у которых ничего нет. The fear of being upset. You are used to compensating for pain with pleasure, to running from discomfort. But life is uncomfortable. The acceptance of pain, the ability to endure what is not under your control, Aiman, is your greatest strength. It's not about being a masochist. It's about being resilient. If you can't be upset without resorting to an addiction or an external pursuit, you are not free. You are a slave. Being upset is a feeling. Go through it. It doesn't define you. It doesn't destroy you. The excuse of cruel reality. Life is too hard for me not to seek my external happiness. Life is hard. And that's exactly why you cannot depend on inconstant things for happiness. If your happiness is out there, it is fragile. It can be crushed by any event outside your control. The cruel reality is the exact reason for you to seek happiness within yourself, in your virtue, where it is unshakable. The Stoics lived in much more brutal times than ours, and they found inner peace. You can too. Remember Epictetus. It is not events that disturb people, but their opinions about them. Your misery is not caused by a lack of external happiness, but by your belief that it is the only source of happiness. To truly solidify this view of happiness, we need two more concepts that fit perfectly. Concept 1. The strength of reason. Your only reliable compass. You've been conditioned to follow your impulses, your emotions, what feels good in the moment. But these are terrible guides to lasting happiness. Emotion is a wild horse. Reason is the rider. If you let the horse guide, you will go into the abyss. The Stoics believed that reason is what makes us human. It is our ability to discern right from wrong, useful from useless, controllable from uncontrollable. Use your reason to analyze your pursuits of happiness. Are they logical? Are they sustainable? Or are they just emotional impulses for instant gratification? True freedom is not doing what you want, but wanting to do what is right and reasonable. And happiness emerges from that coherence. Concept 2. Stoic indifference. What is not in my control is indifferent. This does not mean you don't care about anything. It means you do not place your peace of mind and your happiness in things we do not control. Money, status, perfect health, the opinions of others, the success of your project. All these are preferable, yes, but they are not essential for your happiness. They are preferred indifference. If you have them, great. If you don't, your happiness won't crumble. Because it is anchored in your virtue, in your reason, in your ability to act well, regardless of external circumstances. The dumb person who gets rich acts with purpose but does not define himself by money. The genius seeks happiness in money and becomes miserable in his pursuit. Stoic indifference is the armor against the misery of external pursuit. It frees you. It makes you unshakable. Because if your happiness cannot be taken from you by external factors, then you are truly free. The harsh truth that advertising, pop culture, and even your parents often fail to tell you is that happiness is not something you find. It's not something you buy. It's not something you earn. It's something you build within yourself, with every choice, with every action, with every thought. You can have all the riches in the world, all the love in the world, all the fame in the world. If your mind is in disorder, if you depend on these things for your happiness, you will be a miserable person with a lot of money. The pursuit of happiness makes you miserable because they lied to you about where to look. They taught you to search for it in something external that is inherently inconstant. And life, my friend, is inconstant. It will kick you. It will take things from you. It will disappoint you. If your happiness is tied to these things, you will be a puppet in the hands of fate. The Stoics were not positive or optimistic in the modern sense. They were realists. They saw life as it is, difficult, unpredictable, and built an inner fortress. Their happiness was not a constant smile. It was an unshakable peace of mind. It was the deep satisfaction of living with integrity and purpose, regardless of the chaos around. This is the only happiness worth pursuing, because it cannot be taken from you, and to put a final period on your incessant and miserable pursuit of false happiness. Let's talk about that single universal certainty that eventually reaches everyone: death. You will die. I will die. The Stoic memento mori is not meant to depress you, but to deliver a punch to your gut and shake you out of your illusion. When you remember that your time is finite, every minute spent searching for fleeting pleasures in comparison with others, in frustration for not having what you should have, is a minute stolen from your one and only life. Do you want to reach your deathbed with a collection of external happinesses that are now gone? With a mind tormented by the next thing you didn't get? Or do you want to get there with a deep peace of mind, knowing that you lived with virtue and with purpose, with integrity? That your happiness didn't depend on anything life could take from you? Death does not wait for your purchase. It does not wait for your relationship. It does not wait for your next trip. It comes. And when it comes, the only thing that will matter is the quality of your character and the peace of your mind. Your pursuit of happiness makes you miserable because it distracts you from the only happiness that truly matters. And that is 100% under your control. The truth is, your pursuit of happiness has made you miserable because you are looking in the wrong place. Real happiness, Stoic eudaimonia, is not a destination. It is a path. It is the path of virtue, of reason, of acceptance, and of action. It is the peace of mind that arises when you stop depending on the external and start building your internal fortress. So, what will be your first step to stop being a slave to external happiness? What will you do today to cultivate a virtue instead of chasing a pleasure? Because your true happiness is not out there. It is right here inside. And that, my friend, is 100% under your control. Now go and give your illusion a Stoic punch.